let's be honest. Have you ever looked at your old Gmail address and just cringed? We've all been there. Well, after years of waiting, Google has finally rolled out a feature that is a total game changer. Today, we're diving into a huge policy shift that lets you edit a core piece of your digital identity without losing everything.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about that frustrating problem of being stuck with an old email. Then we'll get into Google's big solution, how it actually works, and of course, the important rules you need to know about. We'll even walk through how to check your own account, and then wrap up with what this all means for your digital life. All right, let's kick things off by setting the stage with a frustration that I think pretty much everyone can relate to, the permanent nagging problem of that old Gmail address. I mean, seriously, who isn't a little bit haunted by an old username? You know the one, that handle you thought was so cool in high school, or maybe one that just doesn't feel very professional anymore. It's a universal pain point for sure. And for the longest time, Google's rule was simple and brutal. Your @gmail.com username was set in stone. It was a permanent fixture. If you wanted to change, your only option was to nuke your account and start all over again. We're talking a brand new account, losing all your emails, your files, and your purchase history. But that is all changing. Google has finally made a massive policy shift, giving us a solution that people have been asking for years. And here it is, the main event. You can now change your existing @gmail.com address. And the best part, you get to keep everything. That's right, all your data, all your emails, all your purchase history, it all stays right where it is. Okay, so how does this magic actually happen? Let's get into the mechanics of it. And don't you worry, no data gets left behind in the process. The key to this whole thing is that your old email address doesn't just vanish into thin air. Instead, as you can see here, both your old email and your shiny new one now point to the very same inbox. It's all one account with all your data safe and sound. So what does your old address become? Well, the technical term is an alias, but it's easier to just think of it like a nickname. Anyone who emails that old address will still get a hold of you because it automatically forwards everything to your one inbox, which is now under your new primary name. This is really how Google makes sure the whole transition is completely seamless. Emails sent to either address, they land in the same inbox. All your connected stuff, your Drive files, your photos, your apps, it all stays completely untouched. You can even still sign in with your old email. It's built for total peace of mind. All right, now, before you rush off to change your address, we need to talk about some of the important fine print. Let's cover the rules and the potential risks. Okay, the first big rule is this. You can only do this once every 12 months, so you really want to choose your new name wisely because you're going to be living with it for at least a year. Now, if you get cold feet, you can revert back to your original address anytime you want. Now, for the heads up, Google does warn that this could cause a few hiccups with third-party apps where you use that handy Sign In with Google button. It might also affect folks using Chromebooks or Chrome Remote Desktop. So their official advice is to back up your important data and just take a quick look at your app settings before you make the switch. You know, just to be safe. So the million-dollar question, can you do this right now? Let's get practical and show you exactly how to check your own account to see if you have it. But first, a really important heads up. This feature is on a gradual rollout. That means Google is releasing it in waves, so it might not have hit your account just yet. If you check and you don't see the option, don't freak out. It probably just hasn't gotten to you. Okay, when you're ready to check, the steps are pretty straightforward. You'll want to head to your Google account email settings. From there, go to Personal Information and then click on Google Account Email. If the feature is available for you, you'll see a change button right there. It's really that simple. And one final really crucial point here. If your Google account is from your school, your job, or some other organization, you probably won't be able to change the address yourself. That kind of thing is usually locked down and controlled by an administrator. So let's zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture. Let's talk about your new digital identity and why a change like this actually matters so much. This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? For the very first time, Google is giving us real flexibility over a core part of our online identity without that massive penalty of losing years, maybe even decades of our digital lives. And that leaves us with a pretty cool thought. For millions of people, a piece of their digital identity that was once permanent is now editable. It's a chance for a rebrand, a fresh start, or maybe just a simple upgrade. So the only question left to ask is, who do you want to be?